A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Disney teamed up with George Lucas to create the first ever Star Wars ride in a Disney park. Welcome to Disneyland Paris in Depth, the Disneyland Paris history series where we explore the stories and secrets behind some of the resort's most beloved attractions. In today's episode, we're talking about the history of Star Tours. On the 25th of May 1977, the cinematic world changed forever with the release of Star Wars: A New Hope, the first of three films that would go on to become some of the most beloved films in cinema history. In 2012, Disney acquired Lucasfilm, and along with it, the rights to the Star Wars universe. But Disney and George Lucas had a partnership long before this, resulting in some of the most popular attractions to be ever built at Disney parks across the globe. The seeds of this partnership were sown in 1984 when Michael Eisner was appointed CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Eisner wanted the Disney parks to be a fun place to visit for the whole family, including teenagers and young adults, which is why his early focus was on adding more thrill rides. The only problem was finding the right story to tell in these thrill rides, a task made more challenging by Disney's lack of recent success at the box office. So Eisner decided to look for a collaborator outside of the company, and the obvious choice was George Lucas. Not only was Lucas a fan of Disneyland, but he was also responsible for one of the biggest cinema franchises of the 70s and early 80s, Star Wars. Now they had a theme, Imagineers needed to find the right ride system to tell the story. A Star Wars roller coaster was initially proposed, but it didn't seem to quite fit the futuristic aesthetic of the films. Everything fell into place when Imagineers were invited to London to try out a flight simulator produced by Rediffusion, who wanted to get into the leisure industry. This simulator technology was the perfect fit for a sci-fi story like Star Wars. After returning to Glendale, Imagineers Tony Baxter and Tom Fitzgerald got to work on enhancing the flight simulator technology to fit the ideas for their attraction. They also developed the ride's storyline. Guests would board a Star Speeder to take a tour of the galaxy with the tour company Star Tours, which would also serve as the attraction's name. George Lucas and his company, Industrial Light and Magic, were put in charge of producing the film to be played inside the simulator. This presented another challenge. If the ride was supposed to show a live flight, there could be no obvious cuts in the film. The entire 5-minute sequence was filmed using miniature models, and effects such as the light flashes were used to disguise any necessary cuts. Lucas wanted there to be a pilot in the cockpit with the guests, guiding them through their journey. And that's how he got Rex, the lovable but anxious RX series pilot droid, voiced by Paul Reubens. Star Tours will be added to Disneyland's Tomorrowland and will be one of the first attempts by Imagineers to steer towards a more timeless, sci-fi vision of the future for the land. This theme alteration was taken to its extreme when it came to building Disneyland Paris, where Discoveryland, which is themed around the visions of the future from the past, replaced Tomorrowland. Star Tours opened in Disneyland in California on the 9th of January 1987, and it was a roaring success. In fact, the park stayed open for 3 days straight to cope with guest demand for the attraction. Given the success, it's no surprise that Star Tours has been added to 3 other Disney resorts. The ride opened at Tokyo Disneyland on the 12th of July 1989, at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World on the 15th of December of the same year, and it was an opening day attraction at Disneyland Paris on the 12th of April 1992. In Disneyland, Star Tours is located at the back of Discoveryland, next to the Discoveryland station. This back area of the land is almost entirely dedicated to Star Wars, with the Starport building located just to the right of the attraction's entrance. This used to be Star Traders, Star Wars themed shop, and it's got an X-Wing fighter parked on the top of it. In terms of the ride itself, this is identical to the versions in California, Florida and Tokyo, except for pilot Rex getting a new French dialogue track. Across the globe, Star Tours started to receive upgrades in 2011, but these changes took 6 years to come to Paris. The attraction closed in 2016 and reopened on the 26th of March 2017 as Star Tours The Adventures Continue. This new iteration of the ride saw the introduction of seamless branching. This means that each time you ride, you will experience a sequence of 4 different scenes taking you to various planets from the Star Wars universe. In total, 26 sequences were created for the new attraction, 5 opening sequences, 5 middle sequences, 10 hologram messages, and 6 ending sequences. This gives the ride a lot more re-rideability and is one of my favourite aspects of Star Tours. Another big change to the attraction was the new pilot. Rex was removed in favour of fan favourite droid C-3PO, who serves as an equally nervous rookie pilot. Since the upgrade, Star Tours has periodically received more scenes as new films and TV series in the Star Wars universe have been released, giving a fresh lease of life to the attraction. So now that we've looked into the history of Star Tours, we're going to finish the video with a few hidden details to look out for when you ride the attraction. Most hidden details at Star Tours can be found in the queue. In keeping with the ride's storyline, the queue takes you through the starport, where you'll see a departures board and C-3PO examining the star speeder he's about to pilot. If you look closely at the star speeder, you'll notice the number 1401 in the top right corner. This is a reference to 1401 Flower Street, which is the address of Walt Disney Imagineering in Glendale, California. 1401 is also the flight number of the tour you are taking. The next room you walk through in the queue is the droid room. Here you may see a familiar face. In this room you can find Rex, the old pilot of the attraction. And a really cool Easter egg is that in this room you'll also see some old computers. These computers were originally used to control the animatronics at Pirates of the Caribbean in California. They were going to be scrapped before being saved by Imagineer Steve Brooks and added to Star Tours. In this room your baggage is also being checked, and if you stop by the scanner for a while, you might notice some familiar items such as Woody's cowboy hat and even Wall-E. And our final fun fact is about C-3PO. The voice of C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, recorded the dialogue for the attraction in both French and English. That's it for today's video. We hope that you've enjoyed this deep dive into the history of Star Tours. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Disneyland Paris tips and tricks. If you're interested in more Disneyland Paris history, check out the playlist linked in the description. In the meantime, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. And may the Force be with you.